Hey guys, sorry about that. My ghost friend Star-Lord just had to be featured in this video, but anyway, I am Den's Meteorite and I What happened to my script? I had it. Cue the intro. Okay, now that I've reconstructed my script, this is what I would call a funny, scary game. Though the game is classified as action-adventure. While it does have horror themes like haunted houses, ghosts, and whatnot, this is a spin-off of the Mario series, so it's kept pretty G-rated. Obviously, Mario's brother Luigi is the main character here. I do wonder if this series had some Resident Evil inspiration, but I could not find such a thing anywhere. However, I do know the original on the GameCube started out as a tech demo, but then became a full game. Speaking of, this game in particular has you solve puzzles and explore mansions that are kind of like miniature versions of the mansion in the first Resident Evil, but I would also say the levels are like Zelda dungeons too. As Luigi, you are a Ghostbuster where you vacuum up ghosts, unlike in those games. I did not get into Resident Evil until the second game got remade, but I would say it's thanks to the original Luigi's Mansion that particular Resident Evil is one of my favorite games of all time. However, I would say the sequel is not really worth $60, and the reason is simple. It came out on the 3DS like 10-ish years ago at $40-ish. This game is $60. Yes, that means Nintendo is charging more for a re-release than when it was brand new. Come on, Nintendo.
Starfield's a great game.
No, it's not. Are you kidding me? Ugh. I decided to tackle this segment first as it is an HD remaster. I would say for 3DS standards, this game looks great, but on Switch, it does look like how it did on 3DS with better resolution. I am replaying the third game as this video is being made, and I have to say while 2 looks good up-res and HD, there's no denying 3 has technically better graphics. In 3's opening scene, it has grass here, like actual grass. The same thing in 2 would look like a polygon, some geometry, but it would just be green, no texture. In fact, some of the polygons in this game have hardly any texture. Don't get me wrong, there are significant upgrades over the 3DS, and I say 3 technically looks better because with 2, Nintendo kind of just makes everything look good in HD while keeping the art style they had on the 3DS. I will say I do like how the original and 3 look more. I do like how the original looks because its semi-realistic look is a bit more immersive to me, and there were parts I legitimately found creepy, like these paintings talking, and that blackout gave me anxiety too. That's my personal preference though. Objectively, this game's more cartoonish aesthetics fit more with how a Mario game should look. Which, now that I think about it, if the first game looked just a smidge more realistic, it would not look too far off from a Resident Evil game. I like it, but objectively, it does clash a bit. This game definitely goes for a more humorous approach than the first game, as the ghosts act like minions from Despicable Me, and the game has a good sense of humor as a result. Does it make sense why I said this was a funny, scary game? Anyway, I'm bad at talking to girls. Oh, good freaking grief. Years back, I did reviews of 1 and 3, making this the only one I have not done a review of yet. Wow, has it really been that long? If I were to rank the games on a subjective level, this is how I would rank them. Objectively, it would be this ranking. I did say the first game was short and a bit on the easy side, but then again, it's probably easy because I've ran through it so many times, and not to mention the sequel came out like a decade later. Something Metroid and F-Zero fans have experienced. This second game addresses those problems as its average length, I would say, and the answer to puzzles is not so obvious. God of War. Sometimes you do have to simply just reveal hidden objects with the dark light. Egad, did you really have to say what I just saw right after I saw it with my own eyes? At least he doesn't spoil puzzles. New to this game, you can shine your flashlight really bright, which is a new mechanic I enjoy. It's fun to just charge the flashlight and then flash the ghost right in front of you. I should have worded that differently. There are different mansions that you go through in this game, each being at least a little different from one another, which I cannot deny. That mansion in the first game looks the same pretty much the whole time you're playing it. Like I said though, I do prefer the first game for its atmosphere, and honestly, this game is not 100% better than the first, even if I were to say it's better. Let me rephrase. It's better in some ways, but a step back in others. This game gets third place in the trilogy in my book, and I decided on that on the first mansion. This game is mission based. I much prefer how EGAD left you alone to do your thing in the other two games. I could just explore the levels and do Luigi's Mansion things. When you explore in this game, the map does let you know you've been there, but then you do the next mission and the map resets your exploration progress. I am not a fan of this, although it becomes more tolerable in the later mansions. I felt like I explored the first mansion multiple times, but then the ones after were better about having you explore different parts of the mansions in different missions. One of the missions has you clean up spider webs, which is basically busy work, but it leads to a pretty good spider boss fight, which, speaking of, they're pretty good in this game. My favorite one was in the secret mine. Different gameplay style, sure, but I had fun shooting cannonballs and breaking the ice. Also, pulling the rug out from underneath a giant set of armor is pretty fun. But I gotta say, I am not a fan of the old Clockwork's boss fight, as you are mostly sucking up a bunch of normal ghosts you would run into outside of boss fights. This makes me think of the Akumura boss fight in Persona 5. I mean, I do mean it when I say Persona 5 is my third favorite game of all time, but that boss went from just bad and lame in the vanilla game to really freaking terrible in Royal. You also occasionally have to escort toads. I mean, this could have been so much worse. At least they don't have a health meter like freaking Ashley in the original Resident Evil 4. You do, however, have to have them right next to you when you open a door as you're escorting them. The game does get harder to suck up ghosts later on, as the ghosts love stopping you, but you do have this jump mechanic to avoid their attacks. Also, I cannot lie, the treacherous mansion gave me anxiety, and not the good kind like I got from the first game. This is where I got nervous about this game's checkpoint system. I have died a few times in this game, and when I did, I have had to start at the beginning of the mission. That one mission where I had to go all over the mansion to vacuum up all the ghosts. I died close to the end of it, but thankfully Polterpup revived me, but if he did not, oof. I'm scared to know if I would have to redo the whole mission again, and I don't feel like trying it out to see. You may have noticed I have not said anything about the plot. Well, go ahead and skip ahead if you mind that sort of thing. Well, the subtitle for the 3DS version was Dark Moon. Basically, the Dark Moon hung over Evershade Valley. King Boo comes in and shatters it, turning friendly ghosts hostile, and it's up to you to restore it. Rescuing Mario does become a secondary plot, although
Mario?
Luigi, you seriously reacted to Mario being stuck in a painting for the first time when you saw his face? You really couldn't tell by the hat or shoes? I mean, come on, don't you two wear the same shoes? Anyway, after a final showdown with King Boo, which is better than the third game, that time limit, the Dark Moon is restored, normal ghosts are friendly again, and I really like how Mario congratulates Luigi here.
Way to go! #1!
Please like and subscribe.
Well, I mean, he said something right, albeit not very enthusiastically, but
This video sucks.
as I was saying,
Change the script.
I would say Luigi's Mansion 2 still holds up. While I would say it does address issues of the first game, it had some game design elements that was pretty on. I had fun with it for sure, but I will probably replay the first and third game again before replaying this one. It's not a C, which is a 7 out of 10, because I did not particularly have any frustrating moments, just some where I did not have as much fun as I could have. It's also not an A, because where it improved on the first one, it also had some design elements that could have been better. So I'll give this one a B. I'm going to go ahead and raise my score of the first game from an 8.5 to a 9, which I know it's probably nostalgia. That's not really a legitimate reason from a critical perspective to raise a score. And for 3, I'm going to keep it at a 9. Thank you all for watching, and be sure to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Dude, are you serious?
I'm so serious.
It messed up my video. You think this is funny?
I wanted all the people to see this.
I had it planned a very specific way. Wait, is my mic still on? Oh, crap.
No, I